Hey guys, what's up? It's Jimmy, and today we're taking a look at Pokemon Rumble U. In the last 2 years, we've seen the Skylanders series do incredibly well in the video game market. You know, those games where you progress by collecting and utilizing different toys. We've seen a few game series try and pull off the same mechanic, like the recent game Disney Infinity and Angry Birds. I personally have not tried to play any of these games because I don't think my bank account can handle it. But now Pokemon has dipped their foot in the NFC figure pool with Pokemon Rumble U. Is this third installment better than the last two? Let's find out. The Pokemon Rumble games are part of an action RPG series that got its start as a WiiWare title in 2009. In 2011, we saw the sequel hit the 3DS. I plan on covering these games at some point in the future, but for now let's just focus on the newest one, which just so happens to be the first Pokemon game to hit the Wii U. The series' premise has always been rather simple. You play as these Pokemon Gashapon toys that have come to life for some reason, and battle other toys. In this incarnation, you play as a group of toys that are trying to find their way back to the toy store after falling into a river. They have to battle all sorts of other Pokemon toys, and befriend them in order to help them return to the toy store as well. The combat is rather simple. When battling enemy toys, you can use one of your two attacks, your A move or your B move. However, most of the Pokemon you befriend will only have an A move, which boils down to you mashing the A button endlessly for the entire level. It's a bit monotonous and can get boring. Like I said, as you battle enemy toys, you'll have a chance to collect them for yourself. Each Pokemon has a set power level, and you're going to want to cycle out your current Pokemon for newer, stronger Pokemon as you progress. So that Pikachu you got at the start of the game will literally be obsolete by the next level. However, you may be able to recruit a stronger Pikachu later on in the future. A way to combat this, however, is to use those NFC figures I mentioned earlier. There are currently about 20 figures out there to collect, so if you're into collecting stuff, there you go. The NFC figures can be customized to your liking, giving Pokemon Rumble U a more defining feature than the last two entries had. In each battle, you can earn coins. These coins can be spent on power level boosts, new movesets for your Pokemon, and you could even give them some traits that can affect how the other members of your team work in battle. These figures can also be scanned in the middle of each level. They appear gigantic in size and run around the screen for a short amount of time, fighting off enemy Pokemon. You can use these Pokemon as helpers if you need some assistance fighting off large hordes of enemies. To some it may look like a cheap gimmick, but it actually helps cut down on hoarding a large number of the same Pokemon just to make it through the level without getting KO'd, like in previous installments. And speaking of things you could do with the gamepad, by collecting enough yellow gems, you can power up a meter on the touchscreen. By tapping the screen, you can unleash little mini explosions throughout the battlefield to also help take down large hordes of enemies. You'll have a much larger selection of Pokemon to utilize in this game, so you can test out all the different creatures in each level. Each level has a set amount of Pokemon to collect, with a total of 649 Pokemon in the game. Along with the set of Pokemon to befriend, each level also has a set of challenges to complete. Each list has the standard defeat the boss objective, but it also has ones that range from use a fire type, or use a Pokemon with less than 200 power, and other types of missions too. It adds a good bit of replay value, and while it can seem repetitive to most people, the levels are short enough that it doesn't take a lot of time to complete the missions. However, from what I can tell, recruiting Pokemon is randomized, so you may need to fight a single Pokemon over and over again just to befriend it for your collection. Or if there's a password available for that Pokemon, you can just enter that. The story mode can be played with up to 4 players at once, so if you have friends, use them. If not, get ready to rely on the AI, which can be a tad unreliable at times. The multiplayer can actually be pretty fun, as battles are usually very frantic in nature. My biggest complaint with the entire Rumble series is that they come across very lazy in the presentation department. The character models are very polygonal and aren't too pretty to look at. They were ripped right out of my Pokemon Ranch, giving me the feeling that they didn't want to waste time with new models. You could argue that it's a stylistic choice because the Pokemon are supposed to be portrayed as toys, but they're still ugly looking. A lot of the music has also been taken from previous Pokemon spin-offs, like Pokemon Channel for example. I admit I smiled when I heard these songs used in locations that are wildly unfitting and frantic. Smeargle's art gallery and an arena filled with Magikarp are two very different settings, yet they share the same song. The new tracks in Rumble U, which are few and far between honestly, are actually kind of meh. The soundtrack overall is okay, but I wish we got to see a bit more exciting new songs along with these older ones. Honestly, if you aren't a Pokemon fan like myself, this game is most likely not for you. Even if you are a fan of the Pokemon series, I only recommend it to those who love collecting things inside and outside of games. Getting all 649 Pokemon plus the 20-something figures floating out there in the wild may be a fun time. The missions can also keep you occupied, and Rumble U does make a fun party game. If you could get past the game's flaws and don't mind dropping $17 for this eShop title, then I suggest you give the game a go. I give Pokemon Rumble U a 7 out of 10. Anyway guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Follow me on Facebook and Twitter, links are down below, and that's pretty much it. The next few weeks are going to be pretty insane and hectic, and hopefully you guys stick with me through those. It's going to be fun. And that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time with more videos.